walking away from the game was one of the best decisions of my life. Took a while for me to get there because, like many, we get caught up in the material, the fame, being recognized as that guy, getting money. It's like you become a superhero. You become this character. You're not even called by your name. The streets give you nicknames. Lucky, Montana, Kwawi, Crack and B, Big E, Glenn Mills, like these are the names that are given from, your peers. And it's not a bad thing. It's like a badge of honor. Like you've arrived, you're that guy. So you get caught up and you start believing the hype. It's like you feel like you're bigger than life, like you're untouchable. But the reality is, when it's all said and done, you realize that, none of it was worth it. Everybody's different. I can speak for myself from experience. It's like I'm serving a life sentence. Never served jail time. Been arrested multiple times. And when I decided to walk away and do what I felt was in my best interest, I was fortunate enough to graduate college from Morgan State University. I was fortunate enough to work for great companies and teach at the collegiate level, the high school level, middle school level, and build great friendships and be like a mentor to so many kids. And many times I would share my testimony, my story about growing up in the hood of poverty with a mom with limited education, trying to raise 4 boys, battling addiction. The story that everybody just about in the inner city deal with. And getting involved in the game. At some point in time, we have to make a decision. Do I play the game? Or do I deal with life? And I chose to play the game. And in dealing in the game, you don't realize what comes with it. Many young men and women, they see the cars, the jewelry, the clothes, the homes, the businesses, money, vacations, nice restaurants, shopping sprees. They see all of that. But what they don't see is the person inside that's suffering. And when I say suffering, serving a life sentence. See, serving life doesn't mean you have to be inside of a jail cell, because you have men and women that's inside of a jail cell that psychologically and mentally places themselves outside of that cell. Me, I'm not in a cell, but psychologically, I'm serving a life sentence. And I guess you probably said, well, that's not making sense. Like, how do you serve a life sentence when you've You're not serving jail time, and you've never served jail time. So how are you serving a life sentence? Because ever since I walked away, I've been trying to heal myself. Listen to what I just said. I've been trying to heal myself. That means I'm not sitting in front of a therapist. I'm not sitting on no one's couch. I'm here battling my own demons. And trust me, those demons are real. I mean, just think about it. I go outside, people speak. Some still call me Montana. Some say, "What's up, Scar?" And again, it's like a badge of honor. So I respond to all of the names. I don't disrespect anybody and say, "Yo, that's not me, don't call me that." Because that's who they see. Regardless of how many degrees I have, regardless of what I've accomplished in the hood eyes, I'm always going to be Montana. I'm always going to be Scar. People don't see me as Tony Roberts. They see Montana because Montana was bigger than life. You know, I had this thing of, you know, it's interesting because I graduated from Morgan State with a degree in theater arts. So acting, I've been doing my whole life because in the hood, you put your mask on, you smile. And we become these characters. Paul Laurence Dunbar said it best. We wear the mask that grins and lies. Many times we put that mask on. And we become these characters. People see you as the person that has not a problem in the world. You have the money, you have the women, the jewelry, the cars, the clothes. But do they know what you're really dealing with? Nah, because they don't see that. We put that person, we hide that person. But when you come behind closed doors and it's just you and the walls of the home you're in, mask comes off, now you have to deal with reality. And the reality is, none of it is worth it. Can you imagine relationships that you're in and every woman you're dealing with, you're wondering, are they with me or are they with my character? Do they want me or do they want my money? This is what you have to deal with. This is your life, even with guys on the streets. Are they really here to help me or are they really here to hurt me? So living that life where you can't love or you can't trust, tell me how we glorify that. Please tell me. Imagine suffering mentally, never getting help because they say men don't like to share. We don't want to go to a therapist or a psychiatrist because it makes you feel like you're weak. So we're taught to deal with everything on our own. I'm here to tell you, it's nothing wrong with dealing with a therapist, a psychiatrist. So I asked myself, well, Tony, why haven't you done it? I can afford it. So why haven't you done it? I look in the mirror every day and I keep asking myself that. I remember sitting at my desktop and I'm on there and I'm putting in therapist names and looking up different organizations, and I even had friends who've reached out to me, text me, who in the field, and said, bro, I'm here if you need me. And I say, thank you, I'm good. And I have friends who call me probably 2 times a day that's in the field. And it's like therapy session, but it's in a way whereas though it's like I'm being questioned, but at the same time, I feel like I'm getting a session. And I respect them for that. I'm not upset or any of that. But I keep asking myself, what's stopping you from going to get the help? If you ask people, how do you see me? Man, that man is blessed. He's doing great. I am blessed. But I'm not great. In society eyes, they would say, you have a beautiful daughter. You have beautiful children. You have money. You have a home. You have a vehicle. You have all of those things. But does that mean I'm doing great? Me and my children don't even know how I'm doing. Because I can't show them a weak side of me because I have to be strong for them. That's what we tell ourselves. That's the lie that we tell ourselves. And then when you're in relationships, it's like you really don't even want to be in it. Because it's like, this person have no clue what I'm dealing with. Because when you deal with people, they have their own mess and they need you to support them. But it's hard to support somebody when you're trying to figure yourself out. Now imagine, so people would say, well, you know, maybe some young guy would say, man, I wonder what some of the issues that he possibly could be dealing with. I tell you one that's crazy. When you live by yourself, it can be a beautiful thing. But it also can be very disturbing. Here it is, you live alone. And I've recently moved to Georgia. I lived in Baltimore my whole life and was never able, while living alone, to sleep in a bed. If I'm in a relationship, I'm able to sleep in the bed because there's someone there with me. But when I live alone, I've never been able to sleep in the bed. Because in my mind, I'm still Montana. In my mind, I'm still Scar. And in my mind, I'm still getting money. I'm none of that. I'm not getting no money. But up here mentally, I'm thinking that's what everybody thinks. So I can't sleep in a bed. Because for me, if I'm in the bed, someone can come through my front door. I can be kidnapped. I can be murdered. I can be robbed. So you sleep on the couch, waiting for someone to come through the door. You sleep with the lights on. Because as a grown man, you don't want to be in the dark. Is that crazy or what? Does that seem like that's a life that you would want? And I'm asking this to the young men and women out there who choose to want to play that game. Is that a life that you want? Now, moving to Georgia, you know, I'm in a really upscale neighborhood. I'm next to City Hall. I'm next to the police department. I'm starting to sleep in my bed, but I still keep the lights on. Let that sink in. Because as much as I try to forget Montana and forget Scar, is something that I haven't been able to do on my own. So either I'm going to do this until the day I close my eyes, or I'm going to decide to go and get some help. That game has truly affected me mentally, psychologically, because in my mind, I haven't been able to walk away. I physically walked away, and I've done great things. Like I said, taught at colleges, taught at high schools, obtained a degree, gave the inauguration speech at Morgan State University when we received a new president. And yet, mentally, I'm still dealing with my past. I recommend anybody who feels that the game is something that you want to do, or maybe try, unless you're willing to serve a life sentence, take another route. You better than that. Don't get caught up in the hype. The glam is not what you think it is. It's not real. Don't let the game affect you. The game of life is hard enough. I mean, let's think about it. Playing that game can cause you to not be able to live when you get older. For every felony you get, what are your chances of getting a decent job? What are your chances of being able to live without fear? What are your chances of being able to love or trust? Is that the life you would want to live? Man, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. So I'm here being honest with you about me so that you don't go down that road and make the same mistakes.